Hello everyone, welcome to Reactify Labs. Today we will talk about another design pattern called observer pattern. Let me write it down first. Okay, it should be capital. Yeah, okay. So, what is observer pattern? Observer pattern is a behavioral design pattern, okay, in which there is a subject, okay, there will be a subject, and this subject will have a list of its dependents, and the dependents will be called observers, okay. So there will be multiple observers which will basically subscribe to this subject, and if there is any change in the subject, not any change, only for the changes for which they subscribe, if there is a change, the subject will notify these observers, okay. So basically it um, is, what do you say, kind of like a subscription based service. So for example, let's say we um, subscribe to a YouTube channel. This is the best example that I can think of right now. We subscribe to a YouTube channel, not only me or us, let's say 1 million people have subscribed to a channel called ABC, okay. What happens then? Whenever, sorry, not only subscribe, along with that, they have pressed the bell icon that notifies them of something. So if we do this notification thing, what happens is whenever that YouTube channel ABC publishes a video, all those 1 million subscribers get notified of it, right? So this is the similar concept of this observer pattern. It has a subject, it has a list of observers, and the subject notifies the observers of whatever they have subscribed to. For example, in this case, if you see, a subject is an interface, okay, and let's say there is a YouTube channel ABC, there is another YouTube channel XYZ. So these are basically the classes which are the children of this subject class, okay. So the people who have subscribed to this channel, only they will get the notification for this channel's update. The people who have not subscribed to this channel will not get update. If some people have subscribed to this channel, they will get an update for this, they will not get an update for this channel. If they have subscribed for this, or if they have subscribed for nothing, they will not get any update. If they have subscribed for both, they will get the update from both, right? So this is again the philosophy of uh, observer design pattern. So let's see how it's used. So there will be an interface called subject, interface subject, okay. It will have something. Similarly, there will be an interface for observer, because these are the only two main actors in our observer design pattern. Interface of observer. So if there is a subject, then the subject has some signature, some functions. One function is register observer, okay. It will have an observer object so that it knows which observer to register to. It will have remove observer, which observer to remove, the observer O, and it will have a notify observer, correct. Notify observers basically, because we have to notify all the observers. So if as an observer I keep track of all the things I have followed, which is not very important for me, but it is very important for the subject to keep track of all the observers who have subscribed to it, so that it can notify all of them periodically of any changes, okay. Great. Now uh, we can extend or implement these this subject. So let's say let's take an example of um, weather data or cricket score or a football score. So what happens is, in the game of cricket, there are too many balls, right? So as soon as one ball is bowled, whatever update happens, if the wicket falls or the run increases or if nothing happens, that gets updated. I mean, the ball count gets updated and the commentary gets updated. Everything happens. Similarly, we can take the similar example, which all of us can relate to, even if we don't watch cricket or football. Weather. If we watch the weather news channel, what happens is, or if you just open the Google where the weather news update comes up, you will see that it changes periodically. Okay, whenever a change in pressure or humidity or temperature happens, it gets updated that okay, the current uh, thing is this. If that does not get updated, it will keep showing the previous values, right? So let's say there is a class called weather data, right? And this will basically implement this subject, not like this, yeah, this will implement this subject. Okay, so it will have a few things. First is, let's say, it will have a list of, first of all, obviously it will have a list of observers. Okay, observer and observers, correct. It will have weather, no? So it will have, let's say, temperature, pressure, humidity, right? It will have these things. Now it will extend this register observer, it will override register observer. So if we override register observer with observer O, what will happen is, we have a list of observers here, right? So it will get added to this observers dot add O, right? Similarly, there is another thing called remove observer. I need some space. Yeah. So similarly, we have remove observer. Again, it is observer O, and it will be observers dot remove O, right? And there is another thing called notify observers. So here we have to notify all of our observers, right? So what we can do here is notify observers. Here we will basically iterate over all the observers. For, we can use enhanced for loop for observer O in the list of observers, right? We will just do something. Okay, what will we do? We don't know yet. I know, I'll tell later. Okay, great. Now what happens? Let's see the observer. What we have to do is, the observer needs an update, right? So observer will take an update, and it will take the things like temperature, pressure, and humidity, because this is the only thing it has subscribed to. This observer subscribes to only that, right? And that's it. So now we know that there is an update. So all the observers will call this update function with what? With these temperature, pressure, and humidity. Temp, pressure, and humidity. Correct? That's it. Now we just need to extend this, implement the observer interface, right? So what we are going to do is, we were going to create another class. Okay, the observer is this one. Which actually, which observer is subscribing to that? Let's say we have a display screen which is subscribing to that. So we have a class called, let's say, current display. Current means the current weather conditions, or current weather display I could write. Let's write it current weather display. Current weather display. Okay, this is the class. This is extending this observer, right? Now we, what we can do is, we have few things. First one is update. Okay, so this update, obviously, sorry, before update, it will have the temperature, pressure, and humidity. So obviously, temperature, pressure, humidity. It will also have the subject. So there will be a subject, and we have what kind of subject? We have a weather data, right? So if you see now, this weather data has observers, the observers has weather data. Okay, that's it. Now, what things will happen here is we need a few functions to implement update. This update function, what will this do? This update is taking, if you see, temperature, pressure, and humidity, right? And we have this temperature, pressure, and humidity, so we need to update it. So this dot temperature equal to temperature, this dot pressure equal to pressure, and this dot humidity equal to humidity, correct? Everything gets updated, and what it does now is it's going to call the display. Once everything is updated, it will call the display. Okay, and our display function will also be not very complicated. So the display is going to just display it on the screen. I would say print it on the screen, print the temperature, pressure, and humidity, correct? Is everything done? Yes, most of the things are done, but one thing is remaining. What? If you see, this subject is going to register the observer, right? But how are we going to register the observer? We don't know yet, right? So what we need is we need a constructor for the current weather display. If you see this, for the current weather display, we need the constructor with a subject called weather data, correct? And this weather data will populate this weather data, right? So basically this is this dot weather data equal to weather data, correct? And with this weather data, it will subscribe. So weather data dot register observer will be called, and it will register which observer? This, because which observer is creating this, it will take an object of that, right? Now if we have to use this, it's very simple. We are just going to create our client which is going to use it. It will do what? It will do, let's say, subject weather data equal to new weather data, and this object of subject is created, and we need an object of our observer also, right? So current weather display, the observer is, let's say, OBS equal to new current weather display with what? With the subject as, with the parameter as weather data, right? And whenever now, if you see, there is an update on the weather data. So if you see weather data, where is weather data? Here. If you see weather data, what have we done? We have registered the observer, we have removed the observer, it is nothing. We have notified the observer, obviously, but sorry, I think I missed something. I missed something here. But what are we going to notify them about? Okay, we are going to notify them about any changes that happens, right? So if we have any update on the weather, okay, so that function I missed, I will make it here. So if we get, I'll leave some space here and write. So if we get some updates like set current temperature or set current weather, set current measurements, right? Let's say we have a function called set measurements. Just let me check. Have I not done that? Register observer. Okay, I have not done that. Yeah. So set measurements will have temperature, pressure and humidity. This is going to set these three values: temperature, pressure and humidity, right? Mm, this will be again this dot temperature equal to temperature, this dot pressure equal to pressure, and this dot humidity equal to humidity, correct? All those things will be there. Now what happens is weather data, along with this, once everything is set, it is going to call the notify observers. Okay. Once everything happens, now we'll come back to this. We have created our observer with weather data, and now we will just weather data dot set measurements. Means if any change happens in the temperature, pressure or humidity, we will call this weather data dot set measurements with our temperature, pressure and humidity, whichever is this. Let's say temperature is 80° F, pressure would be, let's say, something 60, and humidity is something 30. I don't know what exact numbers come here, but let's say these things are there. So what happens is whenever there is a change, if you see there is a change in this number, right? Something has changed here. So set measurements got called. Set measurements called this, like this updated everything, and notify observers got called. And if you see the notify observers, what happens is for all the observers that are there, okay, all the observers, it calls the observer dot update with temperature, pressure and humidity. And what happens when an update is called? You see here, when an update is called, temperature, pressure and humidity are updated here, like these values got updated and these are displayed in the display function here. These values got printed, right? And how did this weather data know which observer to call? How does this weather data know that okay, this O needs to be called? Where did this O, how did this O come in this observers list? This observers list, how did this O go there? It went from like this. Weather data we created, and this, when we created created a constructor, created an object using the constructor of current weather display with weather data. At that time we saw that here with this weather data constructor, this weather data got updated, this weather data which was here in the observer, this weather data got updated, and weather data called the register observer with this. Means weather data called registered observer with OBS basically. So weather data called register observer with OBS, and this observer got added to the list of observers from where it got notified. I know this was a little confusing from here and there, but if you try to make it yourself, if you try to draw this system, if you try to make this class yourself, you will find out that it's not that difficult. It's easy. I have taken one example of one observer. You can create multiple observers and you will see that it's working fine, right? I hope this helps. So I hope this clears the observer design pattern. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, share and subscribe. I will see you in the next one.